Okay, aloha everybody. My name is Jan Lemuria. This is the official start to our 10th Sync to the Whales. Marie and Monica, the translators into Spanish and Czech, have been with us quite a few times now in last 10 meetings. And because we do this every 3 months, it's more than 2.5 years now since we've been doing this. So this is a very dear thing to my heart. It feels like there's, with the continuation, there's a certain way for reverberation we create as we do it again and again and again. So gathering on every solstice and every equinox, we express what we feel in our hearts. We express our love, appreciation, everything that we know the whales and dolphins hold for us. We sing back with this consciousness. We express our gratitude, our love, and our appreciation for who they are, for the role they have on this planet, and everything they represent for all of us. So I'm gonna pull up a slide. Okay, and I'm just gonna share for all of you that are new with us and haven't done the interpretation, language translation. Down here, you click on the globe under your screen, and then you mark the language, either Czech or Spanish. And I wish I would, Espanol, you click here. I know there's some people from Spain with us for the first time. So, all the countries that Lilly has people from. So I'm just making sure they all can see. Oh, maybe somebody can write that in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, if somebody knows how to write in Spanish, to click on that globe. Okay. And then if you're ready, the way we do this, so we have 3 parts. The first part, we do meditation. We connect with our heart, with our energy field, with grounding into where we are, connecting to the circle. And after the meditation, we go into a little bit of sharing. Depends on what's going on, depends on what happened for me in the last few months, what's been happening on the planet. We share a few things. We talk about something that's connected either with the whales, dolphins, the grids, the energy that they represent, and we bring it into the program to where it makes sense of why do we sing? What's the purpose of getting together like this and singing? And then lately, we've been bringing a guest in, and we've had some amazing guests. We've had some musicians on, like Anders Holte, and we've had some channelers on, like Rebecca Dawson. And we've had Dr. Todd on last year, and he talked about the toning more and the toning choirs. And today we have a very special guest, Lilly Wong, and she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. We met first time in Slovenia 4 years ago, and when we talked, I really felt like I know her, I've known her from forever, and you know, her smile, her energy really makes you feel comfortable and relaxed. So she is an amazing, amazing being, bringing a lot of different information in, a lot of different light language, a lot of different knowledge about the grids, about how we as humanity interact with these grids, how our DNA is activating, and how different places on the earth are activating as a response to our human awakening. So it's going to be a lot of fun to talk to her today. Okay. I need to remember to take a deep breath so the translator can translate. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're gonna, oh, and then the third part. So after we do a little bit of a program and the talk, then we go into what we call the quantum choir. And this is the last part where we first again go deeper into the meditation, and then we actually sing to the whales. So each one of you will do that in the comfort of where you are. You'll do it in a way that feels comfortable for you. Nobody's gonna hear you. But we connect in a quantum way. So we create an effect of a choir. Different people all around the world sing at the same time and create a song for the whales. And I always see that song just travel and kind of embrace the planet. And then we listen to the response of the whale back. And we're going to now start with part 1. I hope everybody is ready. I'll just quickly check the comments one more time. Beautiful. Okay. So when I was preparing for this, of course, I was influenced by where I'm going next. And the picture you see on the screen is the picture of a group of sperm whales. And they're one of the only species of whales that actually forms a pod similar to a dolphin pod in a way. What is special with them is that they have a matriarch, which means that the mothers do this together, and they have little sperm whales, and they kind of take care of them together. So sometimes you're gonna see a couple of sperm whales, a couple of babies just waiting on the surface for their mamas as they dove down to get more food. And what happens in the meditation and in the energy, sometimes you'll be able to feel the whales make a circle around you. So I wanted to bring this specific energy of the sperm whales in today. And just allowing for each one of us to feel that sensation of being held within the circle, being embraced within this circle of mothers. So if you're ready, we can close our eyes together now. And we're simply going to take a very deep breath. And we're going to go down into the belly. Allowing the breath to fill up your lungs completely. And then release the exhale. Just allowing the breath to fully relax your body. And let's do that a couple of more times. Just a deep breath in. And really feeling the breath, the exhale. Just relaxing your body. And one more time. Deep breath that relaxes your neck, your shoulders, your spine. And now we're gently going to place our hand on our heart. And we're going to take a deep breath with the sensation of the hand touching the heart. And as you exhale, just feel how you now relax, not just the body, but relax into this area of the heart. It's like this touch and the breath relax you inwards. They take you into your heart. So whatever happened before you sat down for this meeting can now simply fall away, wash away. I am fully here. And you can try and sense the heartbeat, the sound of your heart in your hand. You might feel a gentle movement of your chest as it gently moves your hand. And realize that this heartbeat is what keeps you alive. It's what makes you alive. So this rhythm of your heart is pulsating the life force through your body, through every cell. But also through your field, through your energy field. You simply allow every layer of who you are to now come into a state of coherence. And you can say to yourself, I am here and I'm ready for what's coming. Go into this beautiful space of the heart. We now invite energetically the circle of whales, the pod of sperm whales. And it's going to be different for each one of you. For some, you're going to see the whales come from the depths and they're going to rise into your field. For others, you're going to feel them, how they come from different directions and make a circle around you. And for some, you might see yourself swimming through the water to come nearer and nearer this pod of sperm whales that's just resting on the surface. However, they come and join you. Now we ask for permission to be a part of the circle. And you do that by simply going into your heart, connecting deep to that coherence in your heart, and sending out a message of love. Now try not just feel your heartbeat, but the heartbeat of the whales around you. And you might feel that there's a bond forming, a communication between your heart and the heart of the whale. Whatever you're perceiving in your heart, simply say thank you. And now scan your body. Is there anything that you'd like to receive as a support? A deeper relaxation? A feeling of being held? A feeling of being completely safe and nurtured? Within the circle, you're being held and nourished. Feel that love of the mothers. That embraces you and holds you. And now to make this space, to make yourselves recognize this space on a little deeper level, I'm just gonna play a short recording of the sound of the sperm whales. So allow the sound to resonate within your cells and within your field. And just observe if your cells or your heart or something else within you recognizes the patterns, is familiar with the patterns of this sound. And now we're going to give the intention for this beautiful, loving, safe space of the circle of the whales stays with you. Even as we gently and slowly return to where we're sitting, even as you gently and slowly become aware of your feet on the floor, your breath, your heartbeat. And even as we're gonna gently and slowly start opening our eyes, allow this feeling of being held, of being loved, of being nurtured to stay with you. Just need to move this. Okay, I see more people joined us while we were in meditation. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure from the chat box if you're able to hear the sounds or not. We're going to work on that. Okay. So the sounds are very specific. So it sounds like somebody's clicking. For all of you that are just joining us and speak Spanish and don't know how to turn the interpretation on, you click on the globe underneath. Para español, clicar, interpretación. Sí, muy bien. Okay. My Spanish is not good. Okay, so before I bring Lilly on, I wanted to share a few things and just stay in this beautiful resonance of the whale circle. This safe space of the whale circle allows you to really receive information that's coming in behind the words. It's not just the words, it's there's a lot that's being communicated on other levels. So I hope everybody, oh, beautiful. So you did hear the sounds, wonderful. Okay. All right. So before we bring Lilly on, I wanted to just share a little bit about our journey in the last 2 months, what's been going on, share just a couple of short videos just to give you a little bit of a juicy life stuff happening with dolphins and whales in person. Okay. Wonderful. So the image you see on the screen was a flyer I made for an online event I had 2 months ago. And it came kind of very quickly. It kind of almost happened overnight, where I just knew I had to do an event before I left. And they were showing me how a lot of different places around the planet, especially places where dolphins and whales are, were starting to come online in a new way. So there was this whole movement within the grids, within the crystalline, especially crystalline layers of the grids. And it started in Mexico first. When we were there in March, they showed me that the dolphin pyramids that I saw had built over a bay in Atlantis was also over the bay in Mexico, where the whales were. And then when I was preparing the program for Egypt, where we went to swim with dolphins, they showed me, well, there's this crystalline pyramid over this part as well, right here. There's a temple here as well. So all of a sudden, I was like, wait, are they just popping up everywhere? What's going on? So I realized they're representing this what we observed in Azores was these crystalline pyramids were coming from the bottom to the surface. And all of a sudden it seemed like what was hidden, what was down very deep underneath, all of a sudden was accessible. We were able to enter it. We were able to be inside this ancient energetic structure. So all of a sudden it seemed like, oh, these places are becoming available in many different places around the planet, especially connected to where the dolphins and whales are. But turns out it's not just those places, it's many places on land and in lakes, in different mountains and so on. So I just wanted to bring some attention to that, because the way this happens is you might come to some of these places and you're going to notice the energy being very different. You're going to almost notice like you're entering some completely, this crystalline feel is so strong. So it's like you're entering some completely different dimension. Like one moment you're in the normal physical world and all of a sudden you come to this place that feels very clear and it has a completely different quality to it. And like I said, especially in places where dolphins and whales are, you might observe that, where all of a sudden you're like, where am I? And it is still planet Earth, or am I within some very sacred temple, some very sacred crystalline structure that I don't know how to describe? So yeah, this is just to bring it to attention. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but we might talk about it with Lilly in a little bit. I just wanted to bring this to attention because I just wanted to then share what I call the increased communication that happens once you do enter some of these places. So here's a video of dolphins in Egypt. And I talked a lot to them and they talked a lot back. So there's like a lot of communication going on through movement, through sound, and just beautiful interactions. So I wanted to share a little video, a couple of little videos of what happened for me personally within some of these crystalline pyramids, these crystalline temples that are emerging and popping out in different places around the planet. So you can take a deep breath right now. If there's some internet connection problems, this is going to be better quality in the recording, but still you can enjoy. this video, however it comes through. So just take a deep breath. And see if you can, through your heart, through your awareness, just go into a receiving mode. If this video was recorded, not just for me personally, but for you to receive through the video as well right now. If this increased communication that happens within the crystalline grids right now is available to you, just see if you can enter this receiving mode for a second. In other words, if this movement of the dolphins, if their eyes and who they are, speaks to you directly, just prepare yourself to receive that, the beauty of this interaction. Another deep breath. Now we move to a different place of increased communication. In Baja, in Mexico, this is a moment of communication with the eye of the whale. So just stay in this receiving mode. There's going to be a perceivable shift in the energy as your field adjusts to the whale. But within this crystalline pyramid and within your heart and safe space, you can feel very open to receive. Another deep breath. And that brings me to where you are. So for a lot of you, maybe you don't live next to the ocean, maybe you're not near where dolphins and whales are. But I wanted to just bring attention to the increased communication, not just in the dolphin and whale places, but also within the crystalline spots, different rivers, different lakes that are connected to that energy. So behind me, you can see a beautiful emerald turquoise river in Slovenia, and a local guide, a local person that explores the sacred spots in the area, discovered a place that she felt was very connected to the star people and dolphins and whales. And we did a beautiful, beautiful circle there where we listened to the whale sounds coming through. What you see me holding there is an ear bone of the whale. So we would stand over a speaker listening to the whale sounds through the whale bone, and they were grounding through us into the land there. But also there was a lot of information coming out of the land and going onto the grids. So I just wanted to invite you to explore that, because sometimes you're going to sit in a meditation next to the river and you might notice that whales come swimming up that river. Sometimes you're going to swim in a lake, right now in the summer especially, and you might hear the sounds of the whales in the water. Even in places where, you know, doesn't seem to be any dolphins and whales, they might come energetically. We call them etheric whales. You can call them however you'd like to, but when they come in the energy, observe what happens. This increased communication might come in a way that's not how you would expect it. With dolphins, many times they let us know many things through their movement, through how they surround you, to how they turn their body. With whales, there's communication that happens that goes into the selves, that's beyond what your mind can really comprehend or decipher. So be open to their presence, and their etheric bodies come and work with you in different ways. So just a little, you know, hopefully a little inspiration. This photo, me listening to the whale sounds next to a river, represents to me this quality of connecting to what's happening within the grids. Because like I said before, it's not just happening in whale and dolphin spots. This crystalline temples have been arising and opening in many different places. Okay. Yeah, I see there's some questions in the chat box. The dolphins were in Egypt. The whales were in Baja California in Mexico. Beautiful. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Okay. On the website, if you're interested in going to any of the retreats, we're going to be in Azores right now in July 1st through 9th. There might be one spot still available. You can write to Teresa there. I'm under all the description. This is the first place where we observe the crystalline pyramids coming out to the surface, and now it's happening all over the place. And the first group for Morea from September 16th to 24th, where we swim with humpback whales, is already filled, sold out. So I'm gonna add another retreat from October 4th till the 12th. So if you're interested in coming to swim with us in Morea with humpback whales, the program you can read, and just know that the new dates are going to be 4th through the 12th of October. And feel free to follow the call of the whales. For some of you, you know, you can feel it has to be physical. They call you physically to be in the water with them. So it's my absolute joy to be able to create and co-create these retreats with whoever feels the call to be there. And I can then share all these short clips that you just saw with everybody. So feel free to check online on innerdolphinawakening.com about the retreats. And I will bring our guest in. So if you need to take a sip of water, it's going to take us probably half a minute just to bring Lilly online. And we'll be able to share more. Okay. And thank you, everybody, for commenting and asking questions. I hope this was a nice experience. I really felt like it would be a good idea to give you a little bit of this feeling of what happens under the water, how that feels, how that looks. And yeah, it's such a joy to share this. Oh, somebody is asking, why Morea? Very interested. Well, officially, there's not many places around the world where you can swim with whales without the authorities giving you a hard time. So Morea is one of the places where the French Polynesia is one of the places where you are allowed to swim with the whales, and it's part of the islands there. There's a few boat companies doing that, so we hire a boat there and go out with one of the companies. And the second reason, of course, if you've ever connected to the energy of French Polynesia, of Bora Bora, Morea, Raiatea, these are called like, they have such a strong Lemurian energy. Those mountains in those places, they speak to the cells. Just seeing those mountains, you might experience some memories of your Akash. If you have a Lemurian lifetime, you might feel stuff inside your cells. For some people, you can start crying when you see those mountains. It's really, really, it's an amazing place. Morea also holds a very strong energy of the divine feminine. It's in the shape of a heart, and it has such the way the island embraces you, it's very, very hard to describe that. So I hope that answers the question. And I'm going to bring Lilly online. Okay, let's see. Here you are.
Hello, hello.
Okay. I'm just going to put you on the headphones so it doesn't bother it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you let me know. I don't know. What do I do? Nothing?
Okay, so Lilly, I'm going to bring just for a second, the screen back up here. Okay, this is what I put down, and then you can tell me if this is a good description or did I miss something? Do you feel like there's more? So Lilly is an artist, dancer, cosmic doula, light language ambassador and translator, and she is a has a beautiful academy where she shares all of her work called the Timalu'u. And yeah, it's really a joy to have you here with us, Lily. I'm gonna stop the share so people can see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know we're gonna have a lot of fun things to talk about. So you wanna add anything to your bio?
Oh no, whatever is good. It's always hard to define the soul, right?
Yes.
So I'm always happy when someone else describes me.
For me, there was a moment in Mexico where I just felt like we went into the pyramids. We had this beautiful opportunity to go in. Can you say the word Teotihuacan? Is that?
Teotihuacan.
Yeah, there you go. So there was
And
this.
also, I could also say, para aquellos que quieran la traducción, aprieten al botón de interpretación. So,
Hey,
now
yeah.
I just told them where to click.
Wonderful. So, yeah, so when we were spending time going into that pyramid in Teotihuacan and we chatted, I just had this beautiful feeling like we've been friends forever, and I just felt so comfortable around you. So, yeah, for me, that was such a beautiful remembering of our connection. And now when you wrote to me, oh, here's the synchronicity. So I sat one day and I'm thinking, okay, I need to figure out who's going to be a guest for the next Sync to the Whales. I haven't written to anyone yet. And then I don't like I'm thinking, and there's a few potentials, but nobody steps forward. Nobody comes like, hey, in the energy when they're like, hey, I want to be the guest. So I let it go, and I just kind of just let it sit for a few days, and maybe 2 days later, Lily writes, and she said, hey, you just came into my field, and I felt we need to co-create something together. So I just feel very strongly it's time. So whatever's let's meet, let's figure it out. And I was just like, oh, I think that means Lily needs to be the next guest. So to me it was beautiful how you just felt and came to me, and it just happened, and you had time today. So yeah, it was.
Okay. Someone's saying that my mic is not working. Hold on.
It sounds like you, oh, that was better, but no, I can't hear you.
How is it now?
There's just it's a background sound of like AC running or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
No,
Do you have do you have anything? Oh. Oh, no, this is better. Hey, this is better.
It's better now?
Yeah, you're here.
Ahí está. Okay. Okay, now we have it. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So when I ask you what you would like to talk about, you said you would like to talk about the power of synchronized co-creation through the balance of, or through the power of a balanced heart. Something like that, yes?
Something like that. No, for me, it's exactly what you just said. It's about synchronicity and how when you just follow what you feel, the magic happens. Like exactly the story you just told, exactly about that. How there is so much happening and a lot through the grids that we are receiving all the information at the same time. And what you are feeling to go and do in all these beautiful places with the whales and dolphins, it's helping and supporting what I'm feeling to go and do with also dragons, and also right now when we opened the circle, there were mermaids and tritons, and you know, it's happening at the same time, but sometimes we're not aware of till something like magical happens. And I feel it's time to just let it happen and know, hey, we are helping each other, each of us, everybody on earth who just feels something, needs to do it from the heart, and goes and follow that intuition, follow that inner call, following that inner guidance. It's helping the bigger plan for humanity and actually for the whole universe. And then things like exactly what you say, like, I didn't know who's coming. Then I said, well, I feel like I need to write to you. And it happens, the magic happens.
Beautiful. So from your perspective, you know, talking about the grids, and for me, I never, you know, considered, for me, it all started with simple joy of being with dolphins, that this is the beginning. Actually, no, in the beginning, they came into my dreams. I didn't know why. And then when I went to swim with them, I experienced the dolphin bliss, and then I wanted to experience it again and again. And since then, it seems like I'm just being like, you know, simple human saying, hey, I just wanna be with dolphins in the water. But through that, all this stuff is happening, you know. So when we speak about synchronicity, it just seems like I never see the whole plan. I'm simply like, oh, this would be a good idea. And I go there and then things open. So I never imagined I would work with the energies of Atlantis, the crystalline pyramids. I never imagined I would explore what that means for the grids and how that's connected to each other personally. And so it's such a, you know, I just show up and then they're like, oh, there's more. They always like push me a little bit to be like, hey, open up a little more and see this. There's this bigger picture where you're not just showing up and that's not connected to anything else. You're showing up because it is connected to everything else. So I love the whole synchronicity and how it happens. So for you, observing the grids, because to me, I never planned on observing the grids, but now I am. So from your perspective, observing the grids, what do you see? Like in last few years, in last year, like what's coming to the forefront for you?
Yeah. Well, I must say also, when I started doing, I also had no idea. Right? So my journey of remembering was a journey of really reconnecting. I was missing something. There's something missing inside of me, what it is. So as I start remembering what it means to have a physical body, what it means to touch the body, what it means to have the different organs, what it means to be in a human body, in a woman human body, then what it means emotions, what it means. And I start saying, oh, there's so much here and so much to harmonize. And then the first one who came to me was Archangel Michael. And I was like, oh, hi. And he was like, and very soon the message from Archangel Michael, and then he brought a big team, was please don't do any readings or do anything else, because we want you to remember as really as a child, as experiencing, and the information we're going to bring through you, with you. It's new, and some even new for the planet. But in that moment, I didn't have an idea what they mean. I say, okay, no reading, just playing with you. I'm okay with that. Let's play with angels and archangels. Why not? So a lot of times people ask me, so how did you connect with angels? I say, no, they connect with me. No, it's like I was just harmonizing all what I am as a human being, my physical, my emotion, my thoughts, and suddenly my whole beautiful energy field start to open up. So I start having more friends to play with, right? So this is where then the Pleiadians arrive, or also the Master Ascendant, then Gaia. So I'm going, so the soul of Gaia, like getting in touch with the soul of Gaia. This is my first contact with what are the greeds doing. So what happens for me is when I am opening in a space and I ask permission to open the space, when someone gives permission to open the space, I see geometries. So I see geometries around the trees. I see the geometries around people. I see geometries around spaces. I see geometries around everything that it's physical. But I always ask only to see what I need to see in order to do my service on the planet. So, so this is how I start seeing the grids, and they're geometries, and they are all kinds of geometries. I feel sometimes we would just, like the human being tends to do, we want to have just a couple of geometries and put them everywhere and that's it. But the geometries around everything, they're unique. The geometry around a human being is unique. Around a cat is unique. Around the whales and things, it's unique. So the geometries around Mother Earth, Gaia, and inside, because not just around, so they're inside, they're unique. So this is, for me, was like you too. It was for me more playing, because it's like going to art. Like, I love that you say that I'm artist, because I mean, I go and for me, it's just art, right? It's like, oh, wow, look at this, right? It's like, look the beauty of these geometries. And this is how also when someone comes for a session and so on, I see, well, there is a geometry there that it's not really allowing the flow of the energy. No, and the same about the grids of Gaia. So the first job they send me to do is they use me like an acupuncture needle to go to certain places where those geometries were not allowing the energy to flow. There was something like they were knotted, or the geometries were cut, were something dense. And through the movement, through the light language, through the sound, to clear it off, so the energy can flow again. So this is because I started at the beginning to getting to know my body, my emotions and thought. I'm very good at distinguish which are my energy or the human energies, which are the ones from Gaia, which are, because it's like the different qualities, right, that they call you and what to do. So this is how I start perceiving the different grids. And like most of the time in everything I do, I have experienced them, and then someone mentioned it with a name, right? Even at the beginning, when people say, "Are you a channeler?" It's like, well, I don't know. What does a channeler do? or I say, look, well, I'm going to tell you what I do. Then maybe it has a name, right? And they say, and I tell them what I do, and then I connect, and Maria Magdalena send a message to you. I say, oh, you're a channeler. It's like, well, then I'm a channeler if you want to. You know, it's, if that's the name, that's the name. But for me was how, oh, okay, you call this the magnetic grid. Oh, well, yeah, well, makes sense because this is what I feel. Let's feel the connection. Oh, you call that the crystalline grid. Oh, you call it the Christ grid, and you call it this way. Well, makes sense. I can feel that. Then the consciousness grid. Oh, you call it the Gaia grid, and and all that was a preparation because at some point they said, and it was more around, it was in Hawaii, when they say, okay, it's time to bring the new grid. It's like, oh, there is a new grid. You want a new grid. And this is when they say, yes, we're going to start doing new grid. But at the beginning, it was like you said, like, okay, where do you want me to go again? Right? So you have to go here, you have to go here. And after doing many things, you start getting coherence, because it was in 2019, they say the new grid, it's to download the seventh element on Earth that hasn't been on Earth before. And for that, it worked together with all other grids. So it was good that I already knew them, I already perceived them. So I could be again like an acupuncture point to download the seventh element on Earth. But they say, we need more needles. You're too tiny to bring just that energy through you. And this is when I start inviting other people to these activations to say, hey, do you want to become, I never put it there in the invitation, so but some of them are here with us today, but practically it's like inviting them to become also acupuncture needles, so we can bring the seventh element on Earth. And for that, I'm allowing that, but we start by creating a new grid, which is behind consciousness. There's something really very beautiful from the creator. And the whales and the dolphins are part of it. So they are always present. And the bees, that they are always together. They are always present. As you say, sometimes not physically because it's not water, but they always come in the meditations. They are supporting, and they are supporting from the beginning of my remembering. And it's like you say, it's always been fun, It's like suddenly it was not just Archangel Michael, suddenly it's like, oh, there is a dolphin. Yes.
So
this is the summary.
Yay. So there's a couple of questions, but I have one question for me first.
Yes,
you talked about geometry and how it's different around humans and dolphins and whales. So how would you then describe the geometry around the whales?
Oh, that's so interesting, because of this going and activating for the seventh element, I was guided to bring recollecting some honey through many places and put it into the water in a place here north in Canada, where you can see like there are like 10 different different kind of whales. And it's very cold, so no swimming, at least not me. I'm very cold, but it's north of Canada, so it's very cold. But to answer your questions, it was there where I could perceive how, even though the geometry of the whales, it's, for me, resemble, if I want to resemble to something, it's really like DNA, a structure, and it goes. But then depending on which kind, like the day, the experience, then the sizes, the qualities, and the rotation start to change. So in the feeling was also when I was there, by every presence of a kind of a family whale, my whole it was like a very telepathic system that it was open. So they create through those geometries. There's the DNA, but like synapses, like a very huge telepathic brain, but the beat, it's like a heartbeat, like it's doing there. And depending on the species of the whale, the resonance of that telepathy will go in another space of me. It's like, so I felt like being there was reconnecting all my senses, all that heart synapses structure, whale structure, like, and going like this. At the same time, the synapses are little DNA that structure. Yeah, you like it.
Yeah, I could feel that. Yeah, it like communicates to the body. So, okay, so now we have two questions. First is what's the seventh element? Somebody asked, and somebody replied that that's the dur RNA. So can you talk?
Dorna.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, in a summary, otherwise you can go and see, I explain a lot. In a summary is, while I was doing all my journey of remembering, and like you say, going and play in those places, and then, oh wow, this is here. I'm very curious all the time. It's like I like to have. I like to always empty my container so I can receive more. So it was like, oh, well, now I'm in touch with angels in here. It's like, okay, what's behind matter? And I started understanding energy, but always like in the place, like, oh, it's energy here. And I was like, yeah, okay. So what is behind energy? And they say, that's like consciousness. And I'm like, oh, and how do I play with consciousness? So I start experimenting. It's like what's behind and how consciousness can move the energy that is become matter. So I really understood, oh, we do create a reality. This is amazing. Right? And that takes a long time, and then see what type of consciousness do we have here in the planet. Oh, we have the cosmic consciousness of the feminine, the cosmic consciousness, the masculine. And I say, okay, well, what is next? As I go, oh, well, now it's the time to merge the two consciousness, not just to balance them, but to really make the yin yang making one. And as I go, oh, it's emerging. So I'm talking to you like I talk with them. It's really like, oh, I'm just having fun. And then I start experiencing that. And when the merge comes, then my field was more open. So there are more friends coming also from other universes and so on. So I was very, very busy already. There's so much to play with. And this has happened without me asking. And I say, Lily, you haven't asked what is behind consciousness. It's like, well, but I'm so busy with consciousness. There's an infinite possibility of consciousness that, I don't know, I would not ask, but they'd say, you need to ask us what is behind consciousness. And I say, okay, what is behind consciousness? And they said, Durna. Oh, and then I just felt like, oh. Durna. And it was like, okay, what is this? Because already in consciousness, you don't have a silhouette of things. With consciousness, you're already you start feeling everything and nothing. And then you say, Durna, behind consciousness, it's just this huge everything and nothing at the same time. And they say, okay, And exactly this happened, a big pause for me to just experience what is Durna. And they said, oh, I said, Durna, there's no really word we can put in English and Spanish and anything. That's why I keep saying the seventh element is Durna. But it's like the engine that keeps the fractal system in the multiverse, in the universe, in the galaxy, in here, that allows to create new things from the creator, which means it keeps the divinity within itself.
Mm.
And there's, but how do you, I know it's like, and I say, and so this is something that it has to arrive on Earth now because of the process of evolution and ascension humanity is, and it's ready not to get deliver a new reality, but it's ready to co-create, to create a new reality. And that Durna, it's an engine, it's the force of the creator that it's going to awaken us, it's going to awaken Gaia, that it's going to allow us to really create something new and not just start to repeat, taking the same ingredients and try to create something new. There is a new ingredient since 2019 here, very palpable, and it's coming through the volcanoes. Because it has to come by cosmic plasma, which is the sixth element. So cosmic plasma, it has been on Earth, but it needs to be activated and help Durna to come down. So this is the planetary task that I have right now, and they call it the Durna pollination. So it can be accessible for everybody by free will, but through vibrational coherence. So if the coherence between, and I understood that was my beginning, it's really allow more coherence in between my physical, my emotional and mental body, that coherence. When that is in coherence, that it opens to the spiritual body, and that then Durna says, okay, let's co-create. So it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Beautiful. So I think a person is asking, can you now name all 7 elements then?
Yeah, that would be earth, water, fire, earth, ether, plasma, but now it's getting an upgrade, so it's cosmic plasma. Even in colors, it's something that it's more like lava, now it's getting blue, the cosmic plasma. And now Durna. And together, I call it 7 + 1, 8. And together is the synergy. That's the element 8. In one, is all the 7 elements in oneness.
Okay.
See.
And so the role of the dolphin, whales, and dragons you mentioned before, and other beings, are they simply guiding you in this process of grounding Durna here? Or
Yes.
do they have anything else that you observe that they're doing on their own as well?
In terms of the dolphins and the whales, but the dolphins specifically, I feel they are helping because in order to bring this, they're also through Durna and all this new grid, they're able to bring new information from other dimensions. So I see the dolphins being like weaving, allowing that information to reach us, allowing that information to come into a more human feel. So the information, now I mentioned I'm a translator, I see this also that. It's like, how do we bring those energies? And they are coming from, I don't know how many dimensions, and bring it here, right? So I feel these are what they're doing and creating that vessel. You know, like I was telling you, I like to become a vessel, because if we cannot receive something new if our vessel is full. So one of the cosmic guides, they're always telling me, it's release what you know. And it's so hard. You're like, okay, I'm doing it. And you finally say, okay. And the whales, for me, are all this new information. They are helping us to weave in our DNA. So they're helping it to weave in Gaia's DNA on exactly on the time that you're going to be also in this beautiful etheric. I'm going to be in 6 islands bringing Durna, but in one of them in Sicily in a specific, it's to bring it to through a volcano, Mount Etna in Sicily, to bring Durna in the Gaia's DNA and in therefore in ours, right? So that I know are going to be the dragons and the whales extremely active. And also, well, it was what I was telling you. It's like last year I started the Durna tour in America, and it was really with all the elements, like in combinations, bringing Durna in harmony with all the elements on Earth, upgrading the elements the way we have them right now. So at the end, they said, now that energy and a recollecting of honey from all parts of the world and the activation, put that and give it to the whales. So the whales are bringing Durna, they are swimming, and this is what I feel what you're doing. Every single of those cities that's coming up, you're helping to do their work, bring also Durna into the waters, because this year is the Durna tour of the Mediterranean. And I'm just going to be in islands. It's Tenerife, Mallorca, Sardinia, Sicily, Crete, and Cyprus, and it's water. So it's last year was going through all the mountains, earth, you know, in America, and this year is the water. And the whales, they say, give it to the whales, so they help you to bring that energy. So what's going to happen is they are doing now a lot. So when I arrived to Tenerife, it's like, okay, whales, give it back. Let me do, you know, and that's why I call it everything co-creative, because they're doing their parts. They're the intra-oceanic beings. They are the mermaids, tritons, and many other beings, beautiful from intra-oceanic, helping. They are the trees, volcanoes, you know, all that, all the cosmic beings, and just, so it's really co-creative. And humans that feel the call to be that, to help to be that acupuncture needle, to do our part. So, and as I was saying, and this was the calling for you, is like, yes, you know, I'm thankful for what you're doing, because you're helping with this, and it's beautiful, and as you said before, and you just follow the heart, and you're just there, and you just, this is the place I have to be. But it's creating a beautiful, I call it a cosmic beehive, like everybody's doing their cell, right? And they create this beautiful honey for humanity, and for the new human, for a new reality. Yeah.
So if we bring all that, because we're going to kind of have to wrap it up.
Oh,
If we bring all that, into then the concept of synchronicity. I love how you just mentioned the beehive. It's just, how would you then, for a person listening right now, asking, okay, what is my synchronicity? What is my role? Yeah, what would you do? What would you say to them?
Yeah, for me is what does it feel right to you? Because right now, for example, you say, "Oh, I'm going to see." I say, "Oh, yes," and then I say, "Well, no, because I'm here." You know. So, what is exactly where your heart takes you, and it's really something you feel here. So when I say feel the call, is that the place that I need to do? Without any questioning, without even knowing exactly why. And it has to be like, for example, to your events, my events, it can be also you feel the call to go to the mountain near your house and put a crystal there. Just by doing that, you're helping the whole beehive because you're
So
following that.
yeah, so I wanted to like give a concept of synchronicity through the whale sound. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the whale sound 3 times that you heard the first time. That's why I
Yes.
was a little worried because you didn't hear it the first time, but they did. Okay, somebody's saying share your contact information. Lisa, it comes in the email after with the recording. I give her website. Somebody is asking, can you sync something? Should we, yeah, let's try to incorporate that into the meditation that's coming. And okay, just, yeah, I feel there's one more question, but maybe we'll answer it at the end. As far as Durna being on the planet right now, or was it on the planet before?
It was not on the plan before because we didn't need it.
Okay.
It comes exactly right now because we are ready to become creators of the new reality.
Beautiful. Okay. And I just wanted to share just with you, Lily. I when you were
Yes.
talking, I remembered. So last year in Morea, the whales took me in a vision. Before I swam with them, they went in a spiral up to the surface, and then instead of stopping at the surface and taking a deep breath, they went through the surface, and this felt like this wall of plasma, of this energy between dimensions, and then into this higher place where there was just this feeling of a circle of beings there that I just sat down with. But the energy of it, I know that you're speaking, I'm like, oh, they took me through the plasma into the place beyond. And I was just like, oh, so interesting. So I just wanted to share that before we
Beautiful.
so yeah, and let me put the slideshow back on. Oh, I even have your website right here. So whoever asked, there's a timaluacademy.com. That's one of your web pages. I think you have two, yeah?
Yeah, but it's from there you go to the other one. It's
Okay,
fine.
so this is good.
Mhm.
Okay, so Lily, how are we gonna do this? I don't know if you've ever been with us doing this. So what we do is we go into a meditation, and then we play the recording of a toning choir from Spain. And I turn my microphone off, and you can turn your microphone off. So we create just that feeling of that recording being a background sound for each person to then express their song for the whales. And then we listen to a reply from the whales. And this creates kind of a reverberation through the grids. And I wonder what geometry you're going to see today, because, like you, I like how you describe all this stuff. So anyway, it's a personal experience, but it's also a collective experience. So to me, it's such a beautiful way to increase the communication, the conscious communication between us and the whales and what they hold for us. And also to receive back from the whales whatever you're ready for in that moment. Like you said, they work with the DNA, so they're helping to integrate, to ground the information coming in, be it from Durna or whatever level you're working with right now. I'm changing it a little bit today because, okay, so the choir is toning. So for if anyone's new here, toning is simply allowing the sound to reverberate within your inner chambers, I call them. So if your brain, if your skull is a chamber, you let the sound reverberate in there. You let it reverberate inside your chest, inside your body. Don't necessarily think out and never connect to that sound. Really feel it coming from the consciousness, from the heart. And the background recording we use is from Wong, from Spain. And their beautiful, beautiful choir that creates amazing, amazing harmony with toning and with throat singing. So they create a beautiful background track for us to be able to express then our song for the whales on. So I wanted to play the sound again in connection to what Lilly expressed was her highest joy to talk about, the synchronicity, the timing, and being in the right place at the right time. Because when I listen to this song, and this is the beauty of quantum communication, you can hear within different sounds, different layers of information. So what happens with the song of the sperm whales, you're gonna hear that there's a certain clicking that has a rhythm, usually just go tick, 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 and then there's a quickening. So it just becomes really fast and it just goes. So within this sound, to me, is a pattern of life that is the synchronicity. Because sometimes you're asked to not do anything, to just sit, and it just clicks, and you're just living a very slow, very stable, very organized life. And then be conscious of when the quickening comes, because you're gonna feel it in the sound. So if you think about the sound now being your journey through life and just observe different quickening, different way, the way the rhythm changes, to me, this is what synchronicity is. All of a sudden, instead of you just sitting somewhere and not doing anything or living your normal life, you're asked to go fast, to do something crazy, to move in a different way, to really do something very different. That's the quickening, that's that energy that communicates in a new and different way. So Lily, at one point, I don't know yet, I'll ask you to just do a little sound so we can just whatever is going to feel right for you to bring in, because somebody asked if you can sing. So let's just synchronistically merge it with this meditation and see what happens. Is that all right with you? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's just place the hand on the heart. Take a deep breath. And allow the exhale to relax your body again, take you deep down. And just bring in the energy of the first meditation. Just remember how through your heartbeat and through a connection to the circle, you were able to feel the feeling of being held, of being nourished, of being loved. And just like before, I invite you to take a deep breath with that feeling of the whale circle and simply say, thank you. And now I want you to just feel into where you are in your life. You might be at a place where not much seems to be happening. Or you might be in a place where you feel a lot is happening at the same time. And you're being called to different places. And your life journey is full of meeting different people, of synchronicities of what's going on, of guidance of what's next. So I want you now to listen from that space, playing with the concept of synchronicity, recognizing that both rhythms, the one that's slow and steady, and the one that quickens and activates and opens and brings new potentials and new synchronicities into your life. They're both present. So just relax with the sound as you see the beauty of this process, of this rhythm. And together with this sound of quickening, this sound of activating the synchronicity, we will also now invite Lilly to just sing or create her sound the way she feels is perfect to lay into this space of synchronicity. And just take a deep breath with your heart, allowing both the whale song and the song coming through Lilly to integrate and become part of you. And it is now each of our synchronicity to come together as a choir to connect through our hearts, to connect through our fields, to create a circle that surrounds the planet. Bringing through your song, your appreciation for the dolphins and whales, and this song might be a general song without any specific direction, just to all the whales and dolphins. Or there might be a specific intention to connect to a specific pod, to connect to a specific area, and to also work with a specific energy. And now we're going to just give an intent to connect our hearts in a collective heart of the human pod. When you take a deep breath, and you can see us standing around the earth, surrounding the earth, and holding hands. And align your energy, your field, deep down into the heart of Gaia. And open up to your highest self, the beautiful presence of your soul. And now focus your attention in your heart. Gather your energy into a specific intention. And then let your heart guide the song, guide the sounds coming out of your mouth. And just allow each breath to gently bring you back. Allow each breath to gently integrate the information, the sound. And then you bring your awareness back to your own body, back to your own heart, back to the feet on the floor. Saying thank you to your feet, thank you to your heart, thank you to every cell of your body. From this space, we also thank Lilly for being with us, Marie for translating into Czech, and Monica for translating into Spanish. And with the next deep breath, you gently move your feet, move your legs, move your butt where you're sitting, your spine. You can gently rub your hands together, place them on your face. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.